Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Let's Taste with the Intrepid Wino, which is me. Sometimes I'm known as James Scaresbrook. And I was popping into one of my new favourite wine bars in Melbourne, the Alps, down Commercial Road in Param, where I bumped into Lawrence, who is one of the guys behind Dirty Black Denim. Very, very catchy name for a wine brand. And he's been sort of following my stuff, and I've been following his, and I've been very interested to try his wines. So finally, I'm really excited to be able to try a couple of the Dirty Black Denim wines. They're both from the 2016 vintage. I'm not sure of the recommended retail price. Lawrence, if you wouldn't mind just letting me know what sort of prices people can expect to pay for these wines. But I've got a wine made from white grapes and a wine made from red grapes, but I don't think that they would be necessarily that colour. So let's start off with the Fiano Picolite and Anise blend. And as I said to Lawrence when he gave me these bottles, that's quite an interesting blend for those white grapes. They're all from three pretty different parts of Italy. Fiano is typically found in Campania. Anise is a grape found typically in Piedmont, and Picolite is a grape typically found in Friuli. So southwestern, northwestern, northeastern. Pretty interesting. So I'm really keen to sort of try this. Right away you can see there is a little bit of colour, so that probably indicates there has been a little bit of time on skins, probably just during the fermentation. I don't think there'd be much post-fermentation, because it does have a lovely kind of lemony yellow colour. Nice sort of dried herbal, lemon rind, kind of guava skin, if that makes sense. There's sort of interesting dustiness to it as well. The fruits are sort of broaching on tropical, but not super ripe. So I'm thinking kind of more pineapple, that kind of thing, like nice kind of crunchy pineapple. And there's sort of like a dried floral element, like dried lavender. Let's taste. Good texture. You know, there is a nice kind of savoury edge to it. It's a bit of a soapiness to it, you know, which I kind of commonly associate that with an unfiltered character. There's a sort of a rawness to it, laid on the palate, a savoury kind of character. This is a wine that is probably going to be better with food, I think. The kind of characters you see in here, there's good acidity in there. There is nice fruit. It's certainly not, overripe. There's some crunchiness, but it's more about that texture, that sort of savoury texture. I think that's where you're going to, if you pair it with different types of food, you're going to get a kind of an interesting discussion between the two elements on its own. It's a very enjoyable one, but I think it's going to be better with food. I think possibly the wine needs to settle down as well. It is still very, very young. I mean, just 2016, it probably would have been harvested maybe about 5 months ago. So yeah, very, very interesting start. The second wine we'll look at is a Nebbiolo Rosé. Nebbiolo, like the Anise in the first wine, is a grape variety that comes from Piedmont. I have tasted, I think, at least one, maybe a couple of Nebbiolo wines. Nebbiolo is considered by many to be most noble grape in Italy, and produces some of the most iconic and certainly, in some cases, attracting a very hefty price tag in terms of like Barolo and Barbaresco. And Nebbiolo is a grape that has, probably unsurprisingly considering the esteem in which it's held, is gaining a lot of attention in Australia. I don't think you'd find many Australian winemakers, if they did love Italian wines, who weren't fans of Nebbiolo. And so I think there's a lot of interest in producing very high quality Nebbiolo, and so far they've impressed a lot. You don't typically see a lot of Nebbiolo Rosé. I think more often than not, because it can be a slightly challenging grape to work with out in the vineyard. A lot of producers would not want to, what they consider to sacrifice the grapes for rosé wine. They'd want to put it all into their red wine because they probably think that they're a lot easier to sell and they can make more money from it. But look, I think that Nebbiolo Rosé can be really interesting and delicious, and kind of with good acidity and the right amount of time on skins. The savoury elements to Nebbiolo can really shine through even in rosé wine. So if you want a structured, more savoury, food-friendly rosé, Nebbiolo can be a really excellent example. It is quite pale, you will see. Really, really quite pale. Very pale, sort of salmon colour. A little bit shy on the nose. It's possibly a little bit too cold, and it might still be coming together in the bottle. But you do see some subtle strawberry, wild cherry notes. There's a hint of sort of creaminess to it. It's moving into some crunchier. There's some citrus in there, maybe even some blood orange or pink grapefruit. But yeah, there's a sort of a strawberry creaminess to it. Let's taste. This is a really delicious rosé. I'm really, really impressed with that. I think it offers a lot more than you might expect from rosé, particularly when it's quite light like this. It actually has really good presence on the palate. There's some excellent fruit characters consistent with the aromas, some red berries, that kind of thing, cherries. But there is actually some depth to the wine. You do see it carry through on the palate. There's some elegance to it, and those savoury elements. Just a little bit of texture in there as well, which is why rosé, if it's made really well, and if it's from the right grape varieties, in my opinion, can be one of the most versatile food matching options that you can get. So look, excellent work, guys. I'm really happy. I'm really keen to see more. I'm really keen to follow the Dirty Black Denim story and try more wines in the future. But I hope you have enjoyed this little tasting video. Please do get in touch with the guys at Dirty Black Denim if you're interested in trying some of the wines yourself and finding out where you might be able to buy them. If you did like this video, please hit that like button below. Leave me a comment. I'm very keen to hear what your impressions, if you've tried that Dirty Black Denim, or if you want to ask me a question about them, please go ahead. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can get the most recent content as soon as it becomes available. And why not come and visit me at intrepidwino.com, and you can find out lots more information about myself and some of the fun things that I've had the opportunity to do. But until next time, cheers.